President Cyril Ramaphosa proposed the creation of a National Logistics Crisis Committee. During a meeting with exporters on Wednesday night, the president described the situation as catastrophic. The committee structure is expected to be detailed at the investment conference to be held next week. During a meeting with key exporters on Wednesday night, President Cyril Ramaphosa proposed the formation of a National Logistics Crisis Committee to urgently address the deteriorating performance of South African ports and railways. Ramaphosa hosted a virtual meeting with executives from key exporting economic sectors such as mining, minerals, agriculture, forestry sectors, automotive, transportation sector. The industries represent South Africa's largest exporters, which depend on the country's road, rail and port infrastructure. Several meeting attendees confirmed to News 24 that the president had said the logistics crisis was catastrophic and had committed to quick solutions through a new National Logistics Crisis Committee. The committee structure is expected to be detailed at the 5th South African Investment Conference, to be held in Sandton next week. Asked Thursday morning about setting up such a crisis committee, Ramaphosa spokesman Vincent Magwenya said, he's considering it. He needs to work on its formulation and mandate. Sources say a crisis committee hosted in the president's office will provide a more coordinated approach across ministries affecting the logistics supply chain. Jan Havenga, a professor at Stellenbosch University, said the crisis committee was an exciting development. We've had committees like Mineral Council and Transnet, but the reason they don't work is because business has nowhere to escalate problem. If Transnet says no, business has nowhere to lean on, he said. In a statement released by Presidency on Thursday morning, Ramaphosa welcomed proposals presented at meeting aimed at improving situation of national railroads and ports. We must take urgent measures to resolve the logistics backlog that continues to undermine economic growth, Ramaphosa said in a statement. I deeply appreciate the constructive approach by all affected sectors in their approach to resolving this crisis. The government will consider and act swiftly on some of the proposals submitted to unlock much-needed investments in the economy. The interaction with major exporters comes after President's meeting with Transnet board members and senior management last week to discuss challenges facing country's logistics system, including declining performance of freight rail network. Ramaphosa led Transnet to implement reforms quickly and fully to reverse the crisis in South Africa's logistics system. Sources say Transnet executives Portia and Siza Mzimela attended but did not attend Wednesday's meeting. Juanita Maree, CEO of South African Transporters Association, said meeting was positive and allowed business community to talk about their experience with logistics network. The president has a very deep understanding of what he has to deal with, said Maree, noting that he recognized importance of the private sector and its critical contribution to economy. South Africa is already 21 days away from major markets, Maree said. She said that if the supply chain remains intact and it takes even longer to reach these markets, it will become a major issue for time-sensitive cargoes. The presidency said government will give impetus to ongoing work to improve rail port efficiencies coming weeks and will announce a series of measures in coming weeks, line with government's policy direction for freight transport sector. White paper on national rail policy and legislation currently before Parliament, such as the National Ports Act and the Economic Regulation of Transport Act. The president will also meet soon with organized workers' representatives to embody a joint effort to be coordinated by the presidency. With Carol Paton.